Good morning and welcome back to our study of Mark. We're back in chapter 10, and I'm going to be reading from verses 35 through 37. So let's listen for God's word to us. James and John, the sons of Zebedee, came forward to him and said to him, "Teacher, we want you to do for us whatever we ask of you." And he said to them, "Well, what is it you want me to do for you?" And they said to him, "Grant us to sit one at your right hand and one at your left in your glory." So James and John and Peter had been separated a couple of times to witness something particularly powerful. They had been asked by Jesus to go up the mountain and see him transfigured and filled with the glory of the kingdom of heaven and meet Moses and Elijah long dead. They had also been separated off to witness the resurrection of Jairus' daughter. And so they knew very well that Jesus had invited them to these very special experiences. And so this, I think, was why they thought they were going to be deserving of some special honor or glory. And Jesus is going to give them a warning and let them know what indeed is ahead for them as his followers. And it's a warning to any of us who have had special religious experiences. We might think that because we received special favor once, we ought to have it again. Because we were blessed with some sort of mystical religious experience. Give it to us again, God. Glorify us. Do something wonderful for us. And Jesus is going to let us know that we ought not to expect glory just because it came to us once. Glory indeed is ahead, and those with eyes to see are going to see glorious things. But the way that it happens is by way of the cross, which is what I'm moving into next. Verses 38 to 40, Jesus said to James and John, "You do not know what you're asking. Are you able to drink the cup that I drink, or be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with?" They replied, "We are able." Then Jesus said to them, "The cup that I drink you will drink, and with the baptism with which I am baptized you will be baptized. But to sit at my right hand or my left is not mine to grant, but it is for those for whom it has been prepared." So the cup that Jesus is referring to here is the cup of suffering. It's the cross that is before Jesus. You will remember that in the Garden of Gethsemane, he asked his Father in heaven to take this cup from him. So Jesus is very clear that the disciples don't know what they are agreeing to. You don't know what you're asking. And you will indeed, when they say that we're able to drink that cup and receive that baptism, they really don't understand that what Jesus is referring to is suffering for the sake of the gospel. So that's questions 3 and 4, I think. Question 5, I already answered as well. Question 6, instead of glory, we Christian leaders should expect what regarding the consequences of our religious calling from God? So we should not expect to be honored, glorified, exalted. The world is going to put us down and make us suffer for our obedience to Jesus. And so we should not expect anything more than cross and resurrection. Yes, there will be glory, but it's going to come by way of the cross. And it's not going to be glory for us personally. It's going to be corporate glory. It's going to be seeing the salvation of God at work in others, seeing them lifted up, seeing them exalted, seeing them come to know and use the very Spirit of God and the gifts of God which are within them. This is the glory that we're going to be a part of, not a sort of personal exaltation and glorification by this world. So questions 7 and 8 now, and verses 41 to 45. When the 10 disciples heard about this, they began to be angry with James and John. So Jesus called them and said to them, "You know that among the Gentiles, those whom they recognize as their rulers lord it over them, and their great ones are tyrants over them. But it is not so among you. Whoever wishes to become great among you must be your servant. And whoever wishes to be first among you must be slave of all. For the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many." Question 7, when we want special favor and glory and power, how will that make those around us feel? So in the church, if we're not living for the right purposes, if we're wanting special honor and glory in society, if we're wanting these things in general, if we're wanting special favor especially, people are not going to think highly of that. The disciples got mad when they heard about James and John wanting special favor and special honor from Jesus. We are all broken sinners of Christ's own redeeming, every single person out there. And the Apostle Paul is clear that it is not those who have special gifts, special experiences, who ought to be exalted in the church. Instead, those with the sort of more humble gifts, they are the ones whom we should exalt in the church and give the greatest honor to. So let's remember that as we carry out our callings here in the church and in society. Instead of wanting honor and glory, instead we should be focused on service and service alone. How is it that we can serve the needs of the people of God? How can we come alongside people? How can we bow before people and help them to know that they are loved, that they are cared for, that they have goodness deep inside them? When we are willing to come and serve those who are in need in any way, then they will be glorified and we will rise up with them and experience the glory of the kingdom of heaven. Thank you so much for listening, and God bless the service He has ahead for you. God bless the cross bearing that He has ahead of you as well. May He give you the strength to bear with the persecution that might come your way, to bear with the hardship of dealing with people who are broken. May He give you the strength and the grace to fulfill His calling upon your life. Thanks so much for listening, and let us know if we can serve you in any way.